All right, so I guess we can go ahead and get started. So thank you for coming. We're going to be talking a little bit about two of our programs that are specific for students interested in the healthcare field. One program that is based in London and one program that is based in Costa Rica. So thanks again for coming, and let's dive in. All right, so the first thing we're going to touch on, because I'm sure this is a question that many people have, is what's going on with COVID-19 and studying abroad. Just to give you a little bit of background as to what has happened already, spring programs and summer programs for 2020 have been canceled. But with those students, as well as with students in the future, if any other programs do become canceled, we will work with you to find another program, to find another term. We're trying to be as flexible as possible with things such as withdrawals, refunds. We really want to work with you to make this work out. And we understand this is a very, very difficult time. So we recognize that the situation is also very fluid, and we have a senior director of international health, safety, and security, and she is monitoring the situation all over the world. And your health and safety is our top priority. So she is monitoring the situation very, very closely. And if anything happens that it seems that something is unsafe, we will automatically, we will not have the program running if it seems unsafe. So at the moment, fall 2020 programs are still up and running, but the final answer for that is to be determined, hopefully by sometime mid-March. And winter 2021 and beyond are still scheduled to run as planned. I think I touched on everything on this slide. Andrew, is there anything I'm missing here? All right, let's move on. So you might be thinking, why should you study abroad? There are lots and lots of reasons to study abroad. It is, I mean, obviously I'm a little biased being an education abroad advisor, but there are a lot of reasons to study abroad. For starting, one thing that students are often surveyed about, what do you regret most from your college experiences? And one of the top answers is having not studied abroad. So we want you to be able to graduate with no regrets and to be able to immerse yourself in a completely new culture and surrounding. The one thing that's really cool about study abroad in comparison to just going to visit a country is that you're actually going and immersing yourself in the culture. You're living there as a local. You're getting to live daily life in that country. And you're also getting to learn your field of study from a completely different perspective. What does that mean in that culture? What does your field of study mean in another location, in another culture? It's a great way to really step outside of your comfort zone. Oh, I apologize if it gets loud. I live near a train station. The train is going by right now, so if it's a little loud, I apologize. I'll let the train pass real quick before I go. Sometimes asking the same location, such as adaptability, flexibility, being comfortable with ambiguity. There are just lots of things that you can really gain from trying something. Also, this is great for future employment. Employers are looking for people that have these international experiences and cross-cultural communication skills, and a lot of these are gained, or you start to gain them while you study abroad. And then, of course, the opportunity to travel and just explore other cultures. Oftentimes, when students study abroad, they're not just staying in their host culture or in their host country. You get the chance to go and explore neighboring countries and cities as well, and get the opportunity to experience more than just one other culture. And that's a really great opportunity to have. All right, so let's go ahead and dive into Costa Rica. So this is the program I advise for. So if you are interested in this program, you'll be coming to me, and I will be your primary contact during this application process. This is a program that runs during the winter quarter, and you'll be earning 16 credits. And you can see, if you look at the third bullet point, those are the classes that you'll be taking. So Spanish for health sciences, and that can be at any level. So if you've had Spanish before, awesome. If you haven't, there is a minimum language requirement of Spanish 101 for this program. So if that's all that you've had, that's also great. We can start that language class at any level that you're at and meet you where you are. You'll also be taking economics of healthcare systems, healthcare system in Costa Rica. And I believe that class also does kind of a comparison of healthcare systems in Central America as well. I'm taking a class on vulnerable populations, as well as one called tropical diseases. There's also, alongside of your classes, you take a volunteer placement. And that can be in the health-related field, in any sort of health-related field. And depending on your abilities in Spanish, the more advanced you are, you might be able to follow a clinical rotation, or I should say clinical shadowing rotation. That's the word I was missing there. Clinical shadowing rotation, if you have advanced Spanish skills. But they're really, really great with matching students with their interest. You'll do sort of an interest inventory whenever you arrive, or as part of their application process, rather. And this interest inventory will get a feel for what you want to do for your volunteer placement. And they're really great at trying to match students with their interests. And if they have a student with an interest that they don't have a program or an affiliation with yet, they're willing to reach out and try to find a placement that will work best for you. Another really great aspect of this program, in my opinion, is that students live with host families. I'm a big, big supporter of host families. They're just such an integral part of the study abroad experience. Of course, anywhere you go in any sort of living situation, you can make absolutely amazing and have a great immersive cultural experience. But the thing with host families is you're living not only in that, particularly if language acquisition is part of your main goal for studying abroad, you're not able to kind of go back to your dorm and retreat into English-speaking Netflix and books and, you know, talking with your friends back home. You're living with a family, so you're there and you're speaking with them over dinner. You're speaking with them in the mornings while you're getting ready. You're living a complete, just daily life in that language, which is a really, really great experience. Also, it's another great support network while you're there as well. Obviously, you have the ICDS, which is the organization that runs this program. You have their on-the-ground staff. You have our office always, of course, but it's nice to have that additional support network as well. Yeah, I'm a big supporter of host families. I really think it's a great opportunity for you, not only linguistically, but culturally as well. And there's also an option, if you wanted to stay a bit longer, you could add on a co-op as well. And if you'd like to learn more about that, please let me know. And we did touch the last bullet point. Spanish 101 is a prereq for this, so please make sure you have taken through Spanish 101. If you have taken Spanish in high school and maybe have not taken it yet at Drexel, you have the opportunity to take a placement test, and you can potentially test out of Spanish 101, so then you don't actually have to take the class here at Drexel. And for that, you can contact me or contact the Modern Language Department. And I am going to pass it over to Andrew to talk about the healthcare program in London.
So I'll just reintroduce myself since we had a newcomer come in, but my name is Andrew and I'm an Education Abroad Advisor here in the Office of Global Engagement at Drexel. And my portfolio for advising includes England and Wales. So to start, we offer a great healthcare program in London for the spring quarter geared towards healthcare. So it'd be good for students in nursing, health professions, health sciences, pre-med student, public health. So this program is really catered towards those majors or interests. So students would earn 18 credits on this program. And all grades that you receive on this program are letter grades and GPA bearing. So as I said, it happens in the spring quarter. And so if you are interested in this program, but for example, you might have a spring summer co-op, you are able to request a co-op cycle switch to go on this program. And typically it would be approved. So the application deadline, plenty of time to consider an application, is November 1st of 2020. So we talked about COVID-19 at the beginning of this presentation, but at the present moment, all programs fall 2020 and beyond are scheduled to go. Drexel has not canceled 2020 programs or fall 2020 programs yet. We do have some partners that did cancel, but just know that we are monitoring the situation, and if any changes were to occur, we be sure to let you know if you have an application open during that time. So you are able to still apply for a spring quarter program or a winter quarter program, as Ashley's Costa Rica programs for winter quarter, and proceed as normal. So on the healthcare program in London, students take 4 courses. And these courses are a communications class, which is mandatory. It focuses on British culture and visual media. It would be disappointing if you went to the UK and London and didn't take a British culture course, which is why we have it as a mandatory course. And then you can select 3 other courses from the list below. So students could take healthcare ethics, they could take economics of healthcare systems, genetics in nursing and health, or I guess it's now called, I believe it's called genomics now. And then a sociology class focusing on social welfare issues in the UK. So a good assortment of courses that you can take. And one big thing would be to work with your academic advisor to see how these courses could fit into your plan of study. Doing that as sooner rather than later is most certainly a good idea and important. And so just to touch a little bit more about the program in London, it's hosted by our longtime partners, the Foundation for International Education. We've been working with them for over 20 years at this point. And students go together in a program as a cohort. It could be anywhere from like 8 students to up to 15 or 16, depending on the year. And so you all go to this program together, you take classes together. FIE has their own professors that they hire. And it's located, actually, the program in South Kensington, which is one of the nicest neighborhoods in London. You're super close to the tube, and as part of this program, you actually get an Oyster card, which will allow you to travel throughout London, exploring the different sites, which is really cool. But you're really close to the tubes, you're able to go exploring. Very close to a bunch of different museums that are within walking distance from your accommodations, which include the Museum of Natural History, the Victoria and Albert Museum, and there's a lot of really cool parks and gardens also nearby. It's a very pretty neighborhood. You could get lost walking for hours, just finding new places, and you're going at a really nice time when things are starting to green up and the weather's getting nicer, so people are very excited to get outside once you're there. So next slide. There we go. So I want to talk about cost, and this includes the London program as well as the Costa Rica program. So you pay your regular Drexel tuition as if you were going here. That remains the same. On both of these programs, there is an additional program fee, and they include different things, but what it does include would be your housing. So that does include the housing cost. There are excursions that are sometimes included in that program fee. For London, it also includes health insurance and the Oyster card that I mentioned that gets you around the inner parts of London. And then, so that would be billed to your Drexel e-bill for the quarter you go. So if you go winter quarter, that program fee would be billed to winter quarter, and spring quarter if you went spring quarter. You also keep all your financial aid. That remains the same, so nothing changes there. We do have a work-study position that is available to apply to. If you're accepted to the program, then you are able to apply to that work-study position, provided you have federal funding. There are also a lot of scholarships available. So we have one through our office called the Dragons Abroad Scholarship. There are 3 different categories. There's a financial needs scholarship, a project scholarship, and a diversity scholarship. And you're able to apply to 1, 2, or all 3. And then on top of our scholarship, there are a lot of outside scholarships you can look at. If you are a Pell Grant recipient, you can apply for the Gilman Scholarship. An FIE, actually, if you're doing the London program, has their own specific scholarships that you could look at applying to. We've had a few students receive those scholarships from FIE. One of them is about $3,000, which is nothing to sneeze at. And then there are a variety of other organizations out there that have scholarships available to students. We do have a list on our website that you can check out. If you go to the costs and scholarships page on our website, it will detail out all these different scholarships you can apply to. Just make sure you apply early because those deadlines may differ from our program deadlines. And additionally, there is an office on campus that allows you to get advised or get advising for certain larger national scholarships. This office is the Center for Scholar Development, or also known as the Fellowships Office. So they can advise you on applying for something like the Gilman Scholarship, for example. They're a really great resource. If you have questions about them, feel free to reach out to us because we can connect you to them in case you are interested in applying for these larger national scholarships. And then last but not least, some other costs to consider are personal spending. So how much are you going to spend on food while you're there, on travel, and all that good stuff? So take into consideration what your own spending habits are and create a budget through that. So that way you know, or you have a rough estimate of what this is going to cost you in total. And now costs around the world vary. So if you're going to Costa Rica, for example, the cost of living is a lot cheaper, so your dollar is going to go further. If you're going to London, London is probably the most expensive city that we offer programs in, so your dollar will not go as far. So just certain things to think about when it comes to cost of a program. We do have budget sheets or cost sheets that are listed on our website as well. And so we give estimates from miscellaneous expenses, how much a cup of coffee would cost, your monthly groceries and things like that. So you can put together an estimated budget for yourself when you're doing your application. So program requirements. Now, as I said before, co-op cycle changes may need to be necessary or may be necessary. So if you have a co-op cycle that coincides with one of our programs and it's only offered during that one term. So for example, the healthcare program in Costa Rica is only offered in winter and the healthcare program in London is only offered in spring. You can apply to have a co-op cycle switch. And usually they are successful. So think about that as well. And some other things to consider, making yourself stand out. So Costa Rica has a GPA of a 3.0 and London has a GPA of 2.75. So making sure you have a high enough GPA for these programs. Also developing faculty relationships for recommendations. Part of the program or part of the application process is getting recommendations from professors. So start now. If you have a professor that you have gotten to know, you can always ask them for the recommendation. If you are like, oh no, it's the end of spring quarter and I don't have necessarily a really strong relationship with any of my professors, think about reaching out to them during their virtual office hours, just so they can put a face to your name. Well-written and thought out essays. So there are 3 essays on our application, 1 longer one and 2 shorter ones. So when you're writing that, really make yourself stand out. Why this program and why not any others? We want to get to know you and what your aspirations are for this program. And so last but not least on this slide, we have deadlines. So Costa Rica winter deadline is September 15th and spring 2021 London deadline is November 1st. So still plenty of time to open an application and work on that. And my hope is that by the time these deadlines roll around, we will see where things stand in the world with COVID-19. It might not be completely clear, but we're hoping that we have a better idea of how things will proceed in the future. So next steps. Visit our website. Our website has a lot of good information. So if you go to drexel.edu/educationabroad, go through our programs, our program brochures, go through our cost sheet. We have like, what are my next steps and how to open an application and things like that. So read through our website. It has a ton of information. Determine the most appropriate year for you to study abroad. It could be next year, it could be the year after. The best times to go are your middle 3 years if you're a 5-year student, or your middle 2 years if you're a 4-year student, just because you have more wiggle room with your requirements for classes and things like that. Schedule an appointment with an education abroad advisor. So if you're interested in London, you can email me, and my email address is on our website, or you can email studyabroad@drexel.edu, who can give you my appointment link. If you're interested in Costa Rica, make an appointment with Ashley. And after you meet with an appointment, or you meet with us during an appointment, we can schedule you or open your application. And also meeting with your academic advisor. That is also extremely important, as I mentioned before, because they'll be able to tell you how to rearrange your plan of study to fit in study abroad. So they can say, okay, you were scheduled to take this course for this quarter, but you want to go abroad that quarter, so let's see where we can fit that. They're extremely helpful and are more than happy to work with you to fit in a study abroad experience during your time here at Drexel. Meet with the co-op advisor as well. They will basically need to say, yes, this is fine, it won't impact your co-op, or okay, you'll need to do a co-op cycle switch, here's how you do that. And then if you're an international student, meeting with ISSS to make sure that you stay in status with your visa requirements. And I'm going to turn it back over to Ashley.
All right. So there are some other options if you're not thinking maybe a full term is what you're interested in, or if neither one of these programs are jumping out at you really, we have some other options to study abroad as well, specifically in the healthcare field. And some of these options are intensive courses abroad, or ICAs. And you can earn anywhere between 1 and 4 credits, Drexel credits, while you're abroad. And it'll be part of a regular term. So for example, you go during the break. So if you go during the summer term break, those credits would be applied to summer term. And they run fall, winter, spring, and summer breaks. They're faculty led by Drexel faculty, so maybe a faculty member that you already know leads one. And you do not need to meet with us to apply for these. So these are open to everyone, and you can start this application at any point in time. These programs do have a program fee, so it's no extra tuition, but there is an additional program fee for things like housing and certain meals, tickets to different things that you're going to go see and experience. So there is an additional program fee for that, and that will vary depending on the program that you choose and the location that you're going to. And then if you look on the screen here on the left-hand side, you can see there is a list of of some of the ICAs that have taken place in the past that might be offered in the future as well. And there are, if you're interested in sort of exploring outside of the healthcare field, there are more ICAs than just the ones listed here. So there are ICAs focusing on many, many different topics. But some of the ones we've had in the past are fall break in Chile, global aging in Santiago, the capital of Chile. We've had a fall break in Singapore, psychiatric rehabilitation. There has been a program in Costa Rica as well, an ICA in Costa Rica for comparative healthcare systems, and many, many, many more. And last but not least, here's all of our contact information. We are located whenever we're back on campus. Right now, we're obviously all working remotely, so you can contact us all via email, and we can set up information, advising sessions rather, through Zoom. But when we are back on campus, we're located at the corner of 33rd and Arch, and we're in the academic building on the 2nd floor in suite 201. So just go up the stairs and you'll be able to notice our office with the hanging globes inside of them. We're also on Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat, so feel free to follow any of our social media. And again, if you would like to reach out to us to make an appointment, feel free to reach out to studyabroad@drexel.edu, and our coordinator will get you in touch with the appropriate advisor for whichever program you're interested in. So that is the end of our presentation. So now, actually, I'd like to open it up. We have a returnee here from, she participated in the Costa Rica program last winter 2019, is that right?
Yes, 2019.
Awesome. So I'm going to give her just a couple minutes to talk a little bit about her experience, so that way you can hear more of the student perspective rather than kind of the nuts and bolts from us. So Marissa, I'm opening the floor up to you to be able to talk a little bit about your time in Costa Rica.
So I'm a global studies major, minors in public health and Spanish. So Costa Rica was a great option for me because I'm interested in healthcare, but also in the language aspect of the program. While there, I lived with the host family, and they were absolutely amazing. I still talk to my host mom on Facebook and WhatsApp. But it was really cool to be able to learn about healthcare systems in Costa Rica compared to the United States, and just how different people, how differently countries run things like that. I also really liked the fact that there was other students from the United States studying with me there, so then we could travel on weekends and like explore. Yeah, in general, I did love my time in Costa.
Yes, thank you everyone for coming in. If you do come up with questions afterwards or while you're researching, again, please don't hesitate to reach out to us. You can email studyabroad@drexel.edu, and you'll be pointed in the direction of the advisor for the program that you're interested in. And again, please find us on social media and follow everything that's going on with our office.